planning your sets and rep schemes. Good morning, team. Thanks for checking in for the next Kilograms Kilometers podcast. And one thing that, if it's been spoken about at all, maybe it's been very, very few times, but how to plan or how to think about your sets and reps in terms of strength or volume. And not that it fits into this week's theme of color coding based on intensity, but it is just something to keep in mind. And of course, our set and rep scheme can adjust the just the intensity and the overall impact of a session. So I say impact, I'm not talking about like in the moment. I'm talking about recovery and in the days to follow. So especially since a lot of folks tend to be kind of quote unquote in season most of the time, then keeping those sets and reps kind of in that, or keeping the sets in that kind of 2 to 4 range, and then keeping the reps, I'd say anywhere from like 3 to 6, is, as long as they're using appropriate load, that's going to keep things to where early on, if it's new, yeah, there's going to be some soreness and some DOMs and that sort of thing. But as you get acclimated to it, and of course, as you kind of get through the season, then your body just adjusts to it. And the fact that you're only doing that 2, maybe 3 times a week versus, going in and doing that every day. And then kind of what we talked about recently in terms of organizing the exercises, all right, maybe the bigger the movement, i.e. your squats, bench, presses, pull-ups, etc., keeping those in the lower rep range. So, maybe 5 to 8, maybe down to 3, depending on what phase you're in. But some of the smaller movements, maybe your more auxiliary, your single joint movements, knee extensions, leg curls, biceps, triceps, those, shoulder raise, those types of things, maybe getting those up in the 8, 10, 12, maybe even 15 range, especially, if you're doing like 2 sets of 15, building up the volume there. But that's just one way to kind of consider it, is how we're using those sets and reps to adjust the overall volume, density, intensity of a session. Based on where we're at in the season, based on what the goal is. Is it more strength? Is it power? Is it, is it just kind of the conditioning portion of the training program or training cycle? So keep that in mind, right? Think about maybe how does that look in terms of what you're doing right now? Or, if you have any questions about how to better organize that for yourself and for what you're doing, what you're aiming for in the moment, then hit us up, let us know at Universal Sports Strength on social media. Love to hear from you, love to connect. Let's wrap this week up on a strong note, and let's keep working.